I think the Niners are here.
Josh, I know that you got to see it a lot during camp. I mean, what has most pleasantly surprised you so far? Pleasantly.
That's a trap question. I don't know if there's anything that has pleasantly surprised me. I think that I'm seeing kind of what I expected to see from our team, which is I think a really competitive group on both sides. We've had days where defensively we've done a little better than the offense and vice versa. And so I thought coming out of the spring that we kind of improved the competition on our roster, and I think training camp has kind of showed us that that's about where we're at. And obviously today we're going to find out, today and tomorrow, this week, we'll find out a lot more about our team.
Obviously, today is still about getting work in, and tomorrow about getting work in. But how much do you also want to see guys step up and compete and go out there and make plays, even though it's still a work day, but also do those types of things?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're out there for, so I think both teams will compete, and do it the right way. And, I think our team is excited to have somebody else to compete against. It gets, they get a little tired of competing against the same guys who've seen the same plays or schemes or whatever it is. And, I think everybody will go out there with a great spirit and compete in every drill. And that's the whole goal, is to try to do that and see how much we can improve in the next few days.
Jimmy's been a pretty competitive guy in practice. He's sometimes talking. Gets a little fiery out there. Are you expecting a little bit of heightened energy from him today going against?
I think he always has great energy. We haven't talked at all about the different level of energy or anything like that. I think the quarterback always has to have that kind of spirit about him, and he definitely does. I'm sure that, like I said, I think all our guys are excited. I mean, I'm sure, again, I'm not going to make more of this next 2 days than what it really is. It's just a good opportunity against a really good organization, really good team, well coached, to go out there and, and compete. And so I think Jimmy's probably going to feel very much the same way as the rest of our team does, is excited for the opportunity to go out there and put our best foot forward.
Overreacting to one practice. Are you starting to see Jimmy settle in a little bit? It looked like he got a little bit more comfortable yesterday.
Yeah, I said the other day, I'm not really, again, when it's your seventh day since November, of last year, I don't really kind of look at it in that short of a window. I think playing quarterback's a very difficult position to play and excel at. And, and a lot of times, especially when you're with a bunch of new people in a new scheme, coming off of something that he's coming off of, I think that there's just there's a time element, and there's no shortcut to it. So I expect him to go out there and do his very best every day, which is what he does. He learns from every period, good or bad, and I think he's got a great approach, a great attitude, great mindset, and I expect him to just continue to improve.
When it comes to a young quarterback like Aiden O'Connell, what are the markers that you're looking for in terms of how you gauge whether there's been progress or not progress, I guess, and what you're impressed with, those types of things?
I think just, a young quarterback, again, this is his first opportunity to really start to play this position at this level, and it's difficult. And so there's so many things that go into having a good play, let alone a good practice, let alone a good week. And he's learning that. So I couldn't be more impressed by his consistency and his approach. He doesn't get high, low, up, down. He doesn't really do any of that. It's just kind of like this all the time, which is great. It's a great way to be for a young player, especially at this position. He learns whether he does something well or there's a mistake. He learns from it, and he very rarely repeats an error, which is, I'd say, a very critical element to improving at this position. So, I like what Aiden's doing. And again, every play isn't perfect, but there's a lot of progress that he makes daily because of the way he approaches it.
Last year around this time, you faced your former team at the New England Patriots. This year, Jimmy G finds himself in the same situation facing San Francisco. Did you share any advice with him leading up to this moment?
No, and like I said, I'm not going to over-dramatize the moment. He's going to get a handful of reps today, and there's going to be a lot of other guys that'll get reps also. So it's a training camp practice. It's just with another team. So I think it's just another opportunity to get better, improve at his craft, and do his job. And so that's what we told our whole team. We expect them to go out there and practice the right way, work together with the other club, compete, improve. We're going to be challenged, I'm sure. There's going to be some things we haven't spent a lot of time in terms of scouting reports of those kind of things. So there'll be some things we learned today. And so that's what I'm hoping to see from everybody.
Not in any way calling him Gene Upshaw, but Dylan Parham is a young player that just continually stays consistent. When you look at even younger players, but who've been here longer than him, what has been his key to just being consistent and reliable?
Well, we start with his durability. If you're out there, you have a chance to improve. And so Dylan understands that, and he's really done a good job of taking care of his body. And he practices hard every day. He listens and learns from the veterans around him. I think he competes with our defensive guys in every opportunity that he gets. Plays multiple positions every day, and we talked about that last year. That's not easy to do for a young player, but he's really done a good job of learning the offense, the system, the communication that's required. So just puts in a ton of time, had a great offseason, and just ready to, try to improve his second year here.
The guys on defense, they basically talent every day against your offense, wherever. When you have guys like Debo and Christian McCaffrey and Brandon coming in, how great of a task is it for those young guys that you have like Ja'Cory and Nate and Sam Webb to really get after them?
Yeah, it's a great test. They got a lot of good players, at a lot of different positions, and so that's why they're such a good football team. And so it'll be great to see all our guys compete against them. But those guys you mentioned and many others, I would say, on both sides of the ball. That's been the key to them having such great success recently. Is they got a lot of really good players. They're coached extremely well. They got a really tough system to deal with. So it'll be, like I said, this is a great opportunity for us. Compete with them. See some things we haven't seen before. Learn some things. The tape this afternoon will be invaluable to all of us.
Is there a competition between the coaches the next couple of days, or is you guys are kind of working together to get through this couple of days?
Yeah, we've worked together for sure to plan the whole thing. What I'm looking for from all of us, our coaches and our players, is to go out there and do the best we can with the opportunities that we have. And we're all competing, obviously, but in order to do this thing the right way, you got to work together with the other side, and that's what I expect to happen. Kyle's done a great job with that and their staff. So, looking forward to, just seeing how this goes. But there's definitely been, we've exchanged personnel groupings, and we know what those kind of things have already taken place.
I haven't seen Michael Mayer out there in the last couple of days. Any kind of an update on?
No, just make it, again, I think we have a few guys that are, kind of dealing with little bumps, bruises from training camp. So everybody's making progress, working really hard. Again, we don't have many guys that aren't out there, which is good. And so most of those guys are getting closer to returning.
Any kind of determination on who's going to be the quarterback for you guys on Sunday? Is that?
We'll kind of talk about it as we go. Again, anytime you have the joint practices, you have such a great opportunity to get a ton of work in these next couple of days. So I'd say based on how that goes, the health of the team after 2 days, where we're at, we'll kind of have a better idea of what we want to do. We're looking at it kind of 3 days, today, tomorrow, and Sunday. We've got 3 great opportunities to work against them, one of which being the game. So we're going to try to divide the repetitions up appropriately and then, see what we need to do on Sunday.
Is your preference not to play Jimmy G on Sunday?
Say it again.
Is your preference not to play Jimmy G on Sunday?
No, that is not my preference. That may not happen, but that's not necessarily I wouldn't say I have a preference not to play anybody.
How big of an opportunity is this the next couple of days to see where your offensive line is at, especially that competition at the right side?
Yeah, I think our whole group will get tested. There's no question. The one-on-ones will be interesting to see. Little different style of play. and they have obviously great players, you know, and they're really, really well coached. So this will be really a great opportunity for us to learn a lot about those kind of things, see where we're at in terms of our fundamentals and techniques, our toughness, because there's no question that that'll be challenged.
You talked about working with Kyle and developing kind of what you guys want to do. Was the weather, does that change anything you want to do? And I guess what does it benefit you guys at all to experience it, I guess?
No, it doesn't change anything we're going to do unless it starts lightning or, you know, something like that. But no, just I think it gives us an opportunity. You know, we obviously play indoors, you know, a number of times, but there are some games we're going to play outside, and there's a chance for some weather. So, you know, we don't get many opportunities to work where there could be a wet field. You know, talk about keeping our feet underneath us. You know, staying off the ground, taking care of the football, a little extra care, you know, with some of those things. So if it's wet, which it seems like it might be a little wet here, that'll be a good opportunity for both teams to see kind of, you know, how they can handle that. Again, we don't deal with it much, and we don't get much practice at it. So I'm actually, when it started raining, I was kind of excited to see that, you know, it might be a little different.
What's the latest with Tyree? When can we expect to see him out there? And then also, what's the latest on Josh Jacobs as well?
Nothing nothing on JJ different than what it's been. Tyree is doing a great job of his program here, and I think we're getting close. I'm not going to put a specific date on it, but if we keep heading in the right direction, I don't think it'll be too much longer.
Well said.
Good. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, John.